So there be two sides to this here trail centre. There is a really good long red trail which we're going to ride today. It's about 15-16 miles. It's quite a physical test. Some nice good tech flow in there. The descent at the end in 3 stages is probably one of the best trail centre descents that you can possibly do. And then we're here for 2 days, so tomorrow then we're going to explore the off-piste stuff and show you some of that. So gonna have an awesome time. My weapon of choice today is the Scout. I think it's the perfect tool for this job today. So let's see how she gets on. And we're straight into a techie climb. It's nothing like a nice easy warm-up just to get you in the mood for the ride, is the woo. It's a Welsh warm-up. This initial kind of bit single track, undulating, mainly climbing, yeah, it really spikes your heart rate immediately. As soon as you get out on the trail, I suppose it warms you up for some of the climbing. Yeah, woo! So we're in a bit of a rush today. We didn't get up in time. We're a bit lazy. We had 2 coffees in bed and load the van and blah blah blah, and we're kind of forgetting that the days are shorter now, so we've had to get a bit of a stink on, really. It's a big trail, so one thing we've always noticed about Gwydir Mawr, you always really feel like you've done a ride afterwards. Lots of climbing, long trail, some fairly sort of tech descent, so yeah, you always feel fairly knackered after it. One thing worth mentioning, I think it's had its criticism in the past for being fire road climbs, but I think in this day and age that suits most riders. It's what we've got used to, isn't it, riding enduro tracks really. And if you're riding an enduro rig, to be fair, I think you're going to be quite happy just moseying on up these fire roads in a suitable gear. Beautiful, man. We really have picked a nice day. It's been pretty awful weather through October, November. We've got a super nice day today. Hopefully a nice weekend. Mocking head fun. I'm sure that means something to somebody. Okay, so we're into a nice bit of single track. I'm happy it's dry because it allows me to concentrate on the bike rather than the conditions. Obviously got to take your time a little bit more on a hardtail. Allow for them bumps to wait for them bumps to kind of knock you off a bit, and particularly the line of your back. The fork's doing all the work because you've no rear suspension, so you're relying on the suspension of the fork, and you really need to set your fork up very well. Woo! You go there, doing a great job of getting out of the way. Woo! Yeah, it's nice. So it's very direct on this. You've got to really pump the bike and maximise your grip where you can. But yeah, it's fun. To the next section. This one's slightly more techie. So you'll notice on a hardtail you kind of get that. The back wheel does a lot more skipping when you're braking. The suspension, obviously under braking force on a full suspension bike, is very reactive, more so than you realise until you get on a hardtail, and then you kind of realise then just how much the bike's working for you to keep grip. So you kind of got to concentrate, but I have to say this is obviously a bumpy affair, but my god, it's enjoyable. And you've got to pump the bike as much as you can, really concentrate on your grip, and obviously, hey, ride within your ability. Woo! definitely not quite there with how far I can lean this bike over yet. A little bit cautious, nothing wrong with that. It's a new bike at the end of the day, and these rocks are very slippy under braking. Probably better if you rock it down here, but woo! Yeah, just nice and steady, and just it's a real test of braking control. Great fun. Yeah, nice. So it's lovely and dry. We've been really lucky. It's been so wet through November. Come here today and it's been dry pretty much all this week. So, and yeah, trail's lovely and dry. Sort of nice little loamy section in the woods here. You've got to remember these trails were built at a time when hardtails were the king, really. They were built with cross-country riders really in focus, wanting to test themselves on climbs and descents. So it's kind of like, it is the perfect trail for a hardtail machine. Don't get me wrong, I rode it on full sus and had a great time. I just think it's a really nice trail, and you know, the love or hate trail centres, there's no denying that through winter, when the weather turns, they're the perfect place to ride a bike, because you can turn up, might be a bit of standing water, but they just make so much sense and you can have a great old day. Cregu Pandora, very nice. Pandora's box of treats. Right, watch out, you, good lad. So yeah, trail's great, love it. It's just loads of fun. There's plenty of rock, giving us a bit of a test. Lindsay's obviously enjoying herself. Not loads of grip, so you've got to concentrate, which is exactly what you want from your trail, isn't it? Plenty of trails you can just blast down. Ain't really concentrating very much. Ah, it's a little bit of an uphill. Just got to remember on the hardtail to lift your butt off the seat slightly. Use the power in your legs to get over the obstacles without getting bucked. There's Snowdon in all its beauty. Oh, it's a real rocky affair this, so yeah, it's great. Nice challenge for grip. Certainly feeling it on the hardtail. Woo! There's some of the deforestation here actually. I'm not sure how recent that was, but I seem to remember last time I was here it was still in the trees. Oh, found a puddle. Oh, the wrong gear for that. Oh. Yeah, special mention to the HT Components pedals that I've got on this bike. 35 quid, composite flat, so much grip. Really surprised with just how grippy they are. It's absolutely superb. Woo! Yeah, drops are certainly interesting. Got to remember to engage your knees. Oh, it's just a great trail though. I mean, yeah, it's old school. Yeah, it's a bit undulating. Feels quite long. can be a bit of a slog on the fire roads, but these single track sections are awesome. There's plenty of new trails being built now which are super flat and really well groomed, and you know, the new stuff up at Glentress, fantastic for going as fast as you can, hitting jumps, but sometimes it's just nice to run a bit of old school rock. Try and get away with it without dying. Whoa! Whew. A little bit greasy underneath the leaves there. Been braking after that feature. Having not wanted to brake on it, obviously. Sliding around. No idea what's under them leaves. Oh Jesus, it's degraded for sure. It's washed away. You've got to be laser precise with the hardtail and don't push it too unnecessarily through the chop. Oh. You got to remember to dip those heels as much as you can, but probably not as capable as the hardest of hardtails, but I have to say it's riding a tough old trail today here. Rough rock is probably not its strongest point. Probably more suited to riding the slop in the woods and the mud in the woods. Those kind of tracks. Ooh! Bloody hell. I don't like it. I think I may have met my hardtail match.
Okay,
So the single track sections that you do have in here are all really pretty. It's really nice. We've just kind of finished the middle section, which is a combination of up and down, really. It is very up and down, undulating, and yeah, it can be a bit frustrating in certain spots, and it was pretty tricky on the hardtail, but it's just a different kind of test, really. You know, there's plenty of, you have to come here knowing what you're in for, and you're in for an old school XC ride, but I would say there's many people just riding the final descent. They've put a shorter version of the trail in, which basically just takes in the first climb and the last descent, essentially. And the last descent is superb. So, but you can, there's a much easier way to experience that. But if you want an out there XC kind of day, you want to test your fitness, some fairly easy fire road miles, and then some single track climbs and a few steeper fire road climbs as well. So yeah, it's just a really good fitness test. And as you've seen, despite the weather in November, it's very dry in here today. It's been dry for about a week, just under. The trail's in really good nick. A couple of bits where the trail's washed away. I think that was the newer downhill section they built in the middle. It's degraded quite a bit now. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah, this is where it comes alive. Slightly less rough single track. Oh yeah, it loves it. Absolutely loves it. Right, so coming to the end of the trail now. We've got the 3 sections of descent to tackle, which is superb. I think really I've just found this okay today. Hardtail's definitely helped. Much easier bike to pedal, particularly on the undulating part, so it's not sapped my energy as much, but fitness is really good at the moment. Really working on that. So, but there is times when I've done this trail and I've thought about not doing it because it's long and it kind of really feel knackered at the end of it. But look, that's the kind of ride that you should be doing. You need to callous your brain against this weakness. And if you're already thinking, well, I don't really want to do it because it's a long ride and it's quite knackering, you found the only reason you need to actually do it. Because if you do it and complete it, you're rewiring your brain with what you think is difficult and not. And that's a really, really important factor for fitness, longevity, mental strength, mental resilience, all these things. So get out there and do it, man. Pick the trail that you don't want to do because you think it's too long or a bit too hard, and go and do it. And you'll be a better rider for it. And you'll find that that will try and transfer over into life in general. All transferable skills that come from mountain biking into the rest of your life. Rideras. Probably pronounced that terribly, and anger the locals, but this is a superb descent. Got quite a tasty drop in it. I've had a crash on this before. Just take your time on this one. Oh yes, nice. That's alright on the hardtail actually. Landed it fairly well. Oh, it's such a lovely piece of tech flow. It's gorgeous. Oh, it just drops in it for days. Woof, yeah. Oh, nice. The better you send those, the smoother it is on the hardtail. Yep. Lost a bit of trail there with the leads. It's making me nervous. Hey! Whee! Oh, Hugo's cutting corners now, he's not stupid. Nope. Okay, dropping in for our last bit of fun for today. Woo! Yeah! So much fun this trail. It's brilliant. As I said, you can ride this descent easily just by looping the first climb, and then you can just maybe do this twice if you wanted to. It's a great descent, it's well worth it. It's definitely worth a re-ride. I'm having a great time on this bike. Got a big smile on my face. Yes, it's rough. Never going to put my fastest time down this trail on this bike, but I'm having a great time. And it's been really easy to pedal around it. So much efficiency on those climbs, particularly the fire road stuff. And the less rough of the single track. It's just been an absolute blast. So much fun. Just had a great day. Woo! Just this descent is just worth the entry price alone. Forgotten about the climbing or any of the sections of climbs that I didn't particularly enjoy. All gone, just distant memories. All I'm remembering now is what a superb section of trail this is. And even on this hardtail 29, just let it roll, man. Such a capable bike. Woo! Boy! Had to check myself there a little bit. So that's it, guys. We're back at the car park. Stay tuned, day 2. We're going to take in some of the off-piste tracks, show you the dark side of Gwydir Mawr.